Welcome back to the attic, mathematicians. It is I, Professor Pandemic, here with another order of operations lesson. Today we've added an extra step to the order of operations. We have added exponents today. So exponents outranks every other operation. It outranks multiplication, division, adding, and subtracting. So if you have an exponent in your problem, you have to solve it first before you do any other work today. So if you look here, we have 5 to the second power plus 17 minus 6. You have to stop right away and go, uh-oh, there's an exponent. Remember, this 5 is our base number. The exponent tells us how many times we're going to write and multiply that number. So because it says 5 squared, I write 5 twice. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 17 minus 6 is now our answer. Now it just goes back to regular order of operations. 25 plus 17 is 46. Minus 6 is 36. Again, you have to go left to right. So exponents is just one extra step in the order of operations, but it is one more thing you have to think about when doing these problems. Let's look at another example. In this problem, we have an additional operation. We have 3 squared times 7 minus 24 divided by 8. So again, our first step in order of operations today is the exponent. We have to do that first. So 3 squared, that's 3 times 3, which equals 9. Remember, our 3 is there. Our base number tells us to do that twice. We have 2 3s, and 3 times 3 is 9. You then write everything down the same way because you haven't used any of it yet, friends. And you leave it like this because we want our pizza, our triangle, to fit through all our work when we're done. Now we have to go to multiplication and division. I have a multiplication and a division sign. So working left to right, I have to do the 9 times 7 first, which is 63, minus 24 divided by 8. I now have a division problem and a subtraction, so obviously I do the division first. 24 divided by 8 is 3. I bring down that 63, and then hopefully our subtraction experts in there can see that 63 minus 3 is 60. And then again, once you've done this, you can kind of see you've got your triangle, and if you want to make a pizza, you can add another piece of crust there if you want, just to make yourself look pretty. So again, exponents is not a major step, but it's something you have to think about when doing your order of operations. So we're going to do several examples here, not only to practice exponents, which we haven't done in a while, but also to continue to practice the other steps in order of operation. In this problem, friends, I move the exponent to the end of the expression. So we have 63 divided by 7 times 4 plus 6 squared. Take some time on your own. Put your answer in the chat when you're ready, and let's see how you do with this problem. Hopefully, friends, you ended up with an answer of 72 for this problem. Let's quickly walk through it. Again, exponent is our top order of operation for today's lesson. So we have to do the 6 squared first. 6 is our base number. The 2 tells us to write it twice. 6 times 6 is 36. So that's why we have our 36 there. And again, that's a little side work, so I'm just going to erase it there. Again, feel free to do side work wherever you want. Just make sure it doesn't get stuck in your problem. We then have 63 divided by 7 times 4 plus 36. I see a division and a multiplication sign, which means I have to work from left to right, meaning 63 divided by 7 has to happen first. That gets me 9. Now I can multiply by 4. 9 times 4 is 36. I've brought the 36 all the way down with me. 36 plus 36 is 72. And one thing that I didn't mention in the last video that 5th graders sometimes forget is to bring all the numbers down with you. Sometimes, if you haven't used a number for a couple levels, you might forget to bring it down, and you kind of leave it up here, and then you get an answer that would be right if you remembered that last step. So don't forget to bring everything down. That's why you want it to kind of look like a triangle, and you want to take your time, level by level by level, or step by step by step with this. Let's try another example. All right, mathematicians, we have 8 squared minus 7 times 6 divided by 2. Take some time, use your inner mathematician, and let's see if you can All right, fifth graders. Hopefully you came up with an answer of 43 for this answer. Let's check it out. 8 squared has to go first because of our exponent. And remember, this base number is 8, exponent 2, so 8 times 8 is 64. Minus 7 times 6 divided by 2. Again, multiplying comes before division here, so in our order of operations, this comes first. So we have 64 minus 7 times 6, which becomes 42. Again, don't forget that too. Bring it along for the ride because now it's its turn to have some fun. 42 divided by 2 is 21. And that leaves us with our last operation, which is subtraction. 64 minus 21, which gives us an answer of 43. If you got that correct, give yourself a little pat on the back, because now I'm going to up the stakes a little bit to see if you really can use exponents and follow all the order of operations. Now, friends, I've moved the exponents into the middle of the problem because I am Professor Pandemic, but also Professor Diabolical. Can you solve this problem with even more operational steps? Let's give you a shot to find out. That one, friends, was what we call in Italian a spicy meatball. But did you get 114? Because if you did, you have 2 thumbs up from me and the correct answer. So let's walk through it. 9 squared is 81. We had to bring down the 7 and the 7 and the multiplying. Don't forget the addition. Don't forget the minus 24 plus 8. Next step is the 7 times 7. It's the only multiplication or division in the problem. So you get a 49 right there. We now have an addition, a subtraction, and addition. You have to go from left to right. So that means you start with addition. 49 plus 81 was 130. You then subtract 24. You don't do the next addition. You have to go in order, left to right. 130 minus 24 is 106. Now you can finally add that last addition problem with 8. 106 plus 8 is 114. And whew, that's like lifting a 20-pound dumbbell with your brain there, friends. So good job getting through it. Let's do another. Christmas may be coming soon, but Professor Pandemic is always on the naughty list when looking for tricky math questions. Let's see if you can solve this problem. I know you're working hard, friends, so I hope all your hard work paid off by getting 31 for our answer here. Really quick, let's take a look at it. 4 squared is 16. We've done our exponent part. Now looking for multiplying and division. I see division and multiplication, so working from left to right. We do 54 divided by 6 first. That gives us 9. We then write everything else down, and then we do our next step, 9 times 3, which is 27. In this problem, we also had a subtraction and addition. We continue to go from left to right. 27 minus 16 was 11. 11 plus 20 gets us 31, and our pizza has turned into a massive slice, but hopefully we have been getting the right answers. We have one more problem for you. I couldn't leave you on an exponent day without doing a problem that had all exponents in it. So let's try it out. As I said, 4 exponents now. We have 3 squared plus 4 squared times 2 to the 3rd power. No, your eyes do not deceive you. Minus 8 squared. Let's see how many people can figure out what to do with 2 to the 3rd power and get through this entire problem. Let's see who can lift that 50-pound multiplication dumbbell in their brain and get this answer. 73 was the answer to this problem. Let's take a look. There are 4 exponents here, which means you have to go from left to right, which means you have to start with 3 to the 2nd power, which gets you 9. 4 to the 2nd power, which gets you 16. And 2 to the 3rd power, which gets you 8, because remember our base number here, 2, but now we have to write it 3 times. Times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 more is 8. So 2 to the 3rd power equals 8. So congratulations if you figured that out. And then 8 squared is 64. We now have to go down to our next problem, and notice there's a multiplication sign right here in the middle. So if you went and just added right away, you weren't thinking about your order of operations. 16 times 8 is 128. We have a 9 plus and a minus 64. We now have to add before we can subtract because we always go left to right. 9 plus 128 is 137. Minus 64 gives us an answer of 73. So, friends, that brings us to the end of our second lesson here on order of operations. We'll have one more lesson coming up where we add the final step in order of operations, and you'll be working on completing all 4 steps within one problem. As for me, I'm Professor Pandemic. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson on order of operations and exponents, and we'll see you at the next math lesson. Have a good day, friends.